You made a video about defining what legally blind means because there's some frustration with people that don't exactly understand what it means, and it's just an ignorance thing. They've never been taught exactly what it means. And you even made a comment on the video that if you weren't legally blind, you probably wouldn't know what it means either.
True.
And that's very true. I wouldn't either. That video kind of resonated with me because I have spent so many exhausting hours trying to teach people what it means to be legally blind. One thing I wanted to ask you is how do you identify yourself? And this is a new thing apparently in the VIP community. Do you identify as blind? Do you identify as visually impaired?
That's such a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Both. I mean, I would never try to tell someone I'm totally blind.
Yeah.
I would never try to, I say up front that I can see a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still, I think it's still fine. If someone says, are you blind? I think I can say yes, and that's fine because I am legally blind. I don't know, because a lot of times I'll have the cane with me and someone says, why do you need that? Are you blind? And I am allowed to say yes,
Yeah.
I also have grown up saying visually impaired my whole life as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually kind of struggle with defining that for myself. So, yeah.
Well, because I've told people I'm legally blind. That's what I tend to go to
Right,
if I'm,
me too.
it's usually when I'm trying to work that dumb card reader at a grocery store, or I have to ask them to do it for me because I can't use it at all. I don't know why I say try to use it. I never can. and I say I'm legally blind, but I've had people say, well, that's probably confusing to them because people don't know what legally blind means. So
people have said that to me too. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I sometimes I'll say I can't see that well. Can you help me?
Yeah, I say that sometimes too.
I used to say I forgot my glasses.
Oh.
And I know. That's such a taboo in our world.
I don't think I've ever said that, so that's fine.
Yeah, but that was back when I wasn't fully accepting of my condition and
But actually, that's easier. To be honest, that's easier for people to understand.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking back, I probably have said something to that extent before, of like, or I just can't see very well, or something like that,
Yeah.
Which isn't quite the whole story. But we'll just,
Yeah. But I think it's fine to say I'm blind. Nowadays, I just say I'm blind because, and then if they look confused, then I'll take that as an opportunity to explain, well, there's, it's not black or white. It's not I can see or I can't see. There's this huge gray area in the middle.
Yes.
And that's where I fall. But like you said, if the government considers me legally blind, and I'm doing the air quotes like you did, then I consider myself blind too. And I'm fine with that. I embrace that.
Blind is just such an odd term.
Yeah.
I just feel there is so much gray area, like you said, and honestly, a majority of us can still see a little bit and do have a little bit of useful vision. So it's really confusing to people, and I don't know, I just wish people, it's not their fault, but I just wish people were more educated about if you see someone with a cane or a guide dog, that they might be able to see a little bit. For some reason, people really have a hard time grasping that.
Yeah.
And then if you don't use a cane or a guide dog, it's also still hard for people to grasp in a totally different way, and I've been on both sides of the fence there, so.
Yeah. I almost want to, you probably get the stares, right? If you're like looking at your phone super close and you see people walking by you and they're just rubbernecking hardcore as they walk by you because they're staring at this person looking at their phone oddly. It's situations like that too that I almost want to have the cane just so they're like, oh, okay, the person can't see very well.
Yes, I feel like without the cane, if you're looking closely at something, they'll say, why don't you have glasses?
Yeah.
With the cane, if you're looking closely at something, they say, how can you see?
Yeah.
Why? You can see. It's a crazy, oh my gosh, it's a conspiracy. You can see. This is, like, you're faking it.
Cats and dogs living together.
Yeah, so it's like you almost have to choose, like, to live your life as a sighted person or as a blind person, because we're in this in-between thing where...
Yeah.
It's like crazy. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's hard. We're like stuck in this limbo space in between.
It really is.
Yeah. That's what I said. 1 foot in the blind world and 1 foot in the sighted world.
Absolutely. I don't know which I'm more in.
Yeah.
But we're in both.
I think you're leaning more towards the blind now that you've started using the cane.
Yeah. Once you get the cane, you're like, I'm blind.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently talked to a bunch of first graders at a school, and it was awesome. The kids were so great. But I told them, I said, if you ever see someone that's blind with a cane or with a dog, don't feel shy that you can't ask them. If you're curious about what's wrong with their eyes, ask them. They're perfectly happy to tell you.
I would way rather someone ask than just assume the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is one of your biggest pet peeves about vision impairment? What's the biggest downfall, I guess?
I just think, I think kind of what we've been talking about, just like the general public's lack of knowledge about it. Because honestly, like, I feel like that's harder than actually having the visual impairment.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, being born with this, I've really learned to adapt.
Yeah.
And not driving was hard. At times, I would have a pity party about not driving. And, not often, but, there were those days where it was, you don't want to inconvenience people. And, you don't want to feel like a burden. That's kind of a thing I've dealt with, which, most people that love you are glad to help and they don't mind, but of course you always feel that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So, but yeah, pet peeve, the whole you don't look blind thing is a pet peeve. For sure. Especially on the internet, I find it bothers me more in like YouTube comments, not just on my videos, but on on anybody's videos. Because what is a blind person supposed to look like? And I often want to ask them, have you ever met a blind person? And if you have, we're all different. And I don't know. That really gets me.
Yeah, because most people, their eyes just don't work the right way. It's not like they had some kind of traumatic injury to their eyeballs and one's hanging out or something. It's like. Yeah.
Exactly. And they think, if you look at someone in the general direction that they're standing, that you can see them completely. And like you said, you have trouble with eye contact because you don't have central vision. But like you can hear where their voice is coming from and look in a general area. But I think people even think, they're looking toward the person. They're not blind at all. They can see. And I think it's so funny because we learn these coping mechanisms that people don't even realize we're doing. Our brains, like we memorize things. We use the little vision we have to the best of our ability. If you have color, like I can see colors well, so if I see certain colors, I might know that that's McDonald's because it's red and yellow.
Yeah.
Or, certain things like that, even if we can't read the sign. And people don't realize we're doing that. People don't realize we're doing these tricks and coping mechanisms, so they think we can see. When really we can't, but that's how our brain works.
Yeah. Well, in your video where you guys went walking through the streets, you were about to cross a street, and you were talking about how you can't see the crosswalk sign, but you could tell the colors, so you knew when to go because the colors would change.
Right, and at a crosswalk, towards the end when it's about to change, it has a number flashing. I can't read that number at all, so I just don't even go if the number is. I can kind of tell it's flashing a little bit usually. If it's really sunny outside, I usually can't. I have a hard time seeing the color, so I use others like parallel traffic and other things like that. Yeah.
Do they have the beeping crosswalks or the ones they don't have the ones that say walk?
No.
Oh.
I've only encountered a few of those since I've lived here. In my neighborhood, in my area, no.
Oh wow.
Which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
That would make my life way less stressful.
You need to talk to your congressperson or something.
I know.
You need to write a strongly worded letter.
Yes. It would make things a lot less stressful.
Yeah, it would. We asked what your pet peeve is. What is the biggest benefit of having low vision, do you think? That's a tricky one. Now, these are questions, I gave Casey some questions beforehand so she would be prepped, but these weren't on the list, so I'm sorry if I'm putting you on the spot.
I mean, obviously, okay, my favorite things are the people I've gotten to meet, some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life are through the blind community. And also just like the things I've learned from it, I don't think I'd be the same person I am today.
Yeah.
If I weren't visually impaired, but I don't know. It's actually kind of hard to say, but I feel like I have learned a lot just about the world, and I see the world differently, quite literally. See the world differently. And then obviously there are those perks, you know, at like amusement parks and that kind of stuff.
Yes. That's what I said. I'm gonna invite you to do this. There's this visually impaired person of interest video series, and I'm gonna invite you formally right now to take part in it. I'll send you a link to mine. Derek did one where it's a series, I think 10 or 12 questions, and you just answer the questions. But that was one of them. Best part of being blind, and that's one of the things I said. It's like, I'm sorry, maybe that makes me sound shallow, but getting to jump a line at an amusement park, I'm sorry, I'm going to take advantage of that.
I mean, I've had people make comments to me though before, like that's not right or whatever. But I mean, if they're offering it, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Like in college, I had a friend in college. I was able to register for my classes first.
Mm-hmm.
And I had someone make a comment like, well, that's not fair. And I was thinking like, try living my life.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I deserve perks. Like, I'm not that kind of person who's like, I have a cane, so you should let me do this and this and that. I'm not like that at all. But in that situation, it kind of made me mad because I was like, well, they're offering it to me. And honestly, in that situation, it is helpful because sometimes certain professors are more accommodating, and you hear about that, and you get to choose those professors. So, but yeah, if they're offering it, why not take it?
Yeah, you might as well. It pays to ask and take advantage of these things. Take advantage of them in the way, don't take advantage of them, but...
right, yeah, don't take advantage of the people, but especially for shows like that too, for seating. And I don't know if you can relate to this, but in a sense, no matter how close I'm sitting, I still can't really see what's going on that well. But it's still nice to sit close.
And actually in theaters, when I'm going to see a show, I will take my binoculars. I have these really nice binoculars, and it's actually better for me to sit a little further back in that case.
Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness, my mom, my lovely mother, who's my best friend in the world, she's amazing, but she, like, for some reason, she always wants to sit in the front for me, but I keep trying to tell her, I'm like, actually, because I use binoculars as well.
Yeah.
And I try to tell her, I'm like, no, actually, further back is better with the binoculars for me, but...
Yeah. Well, Mom, it's absolutely true. You can show her that.
Also, you get less strange comments if you use them further back, because I've used binoculars on the front row, and I mean, obviously, I try not to care, but people make comments to me.
Yeah. Now, working, you've had jobs in the past. How was that with working with low vision? Did you have to use any kind of special adaptations while you were at work?
Yeah, so I recently, for 5 months, it just ended. I did a temporary job at the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA, as they call it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was working a special exhibition. It was guest services. I was dealing with people all day. It was a little bit visually challenging in some areas, but I actually didn't really have any accommodations for this particular job. But I have done receptionist, I don't know if that's a word, receptionist work in the past where I use certain things on my computer, like Zoom text. And other things like that. And I'm actually looking into getting another receptionist job soon where I'll have to deal with accommodations. And once again, like the dating thing, you have to disclose, or you don't have to disclose.
Yeah.
But if you want accommodations,
right,
you're gonna have to eventually let them know. So it's an interesting thing. And I've also acted my whole life and done a few like semi-professional things with that, where I don't really need much accommodations with acting, except I need a little bit more time on the set to find my way, usually.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced any kind of discrimination at work because of your vision impairment? Anything that stands out?
Nothing too severe.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Never got fired because you couldn't see or anything like that?
No, but I have had people make comments about what I can and can't do, just assuming things, and voicing their concern about what I can and can't do. And in a way, I can find that kind of discriminating, but nothing ever severe where I was fired from anything.
All right, well, that's good. Well, Casey, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me. You said you're an introverted person, so I'm honored that you came on my show.
I could fake it for the camera a little.
Yeah, for an hour.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'd love to talk to you again.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Right, and we're going to try and get together with Derek Daniel sometime and maybe do podcast. And there's another gentleman who's got a video or a YouTube channel called Doing Business Blind. He's awesome. So I think he's interested in that too. So we'll try and work something out. But thank you again, Casey, and thank you guys for watching. This is Sam with the Blind Spot and Casey signing off. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Once again, I'll have a link to all Casey's stuff down in the description or on the screen here somewhere. Thank you again, Casey, and we will see you guys next time.